Welcome back to DIY No Need to Cry with Ivelisse. All the materials that I used for this DIY are listed in the description box below. DIY glass dye with food coloring and Mod Podge. Let's get started. I first preheated the oven to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. I poured Mod Podge in a cup and mixed 2 drops of Teal gel food coloring. You can use whatever food coloring you want. It doesn't have to be gel. Next, I placed a piece of parchment paper over a baking sheet and then placed a small grill grate I took out of my toaster oven on top of that. The grill grate isn't necessary, it just makes for a cleaner rim. I wore gloves because this can get really messy. Some people water their glue down, but I find that this way is easier and the color comes out better. Once it's mixed, pour all the glue into the vase or whatever piece of glass you're going to be working with. Turn and turn until you have most of the inside coated. Once it gets close to the rim, you can use a paintbrush to spread the remaining glue to finish the top. Now place that upside down onto the grate. If you don't have that, just place directly onto the parchment paper. Leave it like this until all the excess glue runs down. Then take a paper towel and clean the rim up. Now you're ready to bake. Take a fresh piece of parchment paper and cover the baking sheet. Place the grate. Again, if you don't have it, that's fine. Just place it directly onto the parchment paper. Place the vase or whatever piece of glass you are working on upside down on top of that. Bake in the oven for 30 minutes. After 15 minutes, using oven mitts, carefully turn it over. Remove the grate and parchment paper. Place glass back in right side up for the remainder of time. When the timer goes off, turn the oven off and leave it there until it's completely cool to the touch. This is what it should look like. Don't worry if you see some white spots like you see here. It goes away after a few hours. I printed out these patterns I found on Pinterest. The butterfly one I printed at 60% size. I cut them out as you see here and then I placed painter's tape on the back. The links to these patterns will be in the description box below. Next, I placed the pattern as shown here. This is the other pattern. Do the same thing to this one. I was just experimenting with my liquid pearls. You can design your vase any way you like or leave it plain. These are the colors I used. I started dotting the pattern onto my vase. I didn't dot every dot on the pattern. I just used the pattern as a guide and dotted my way around. Continue until you have traced the entire pattern. If you make a mistake, just wipe it off immediately and continue. When you're all done, peel the pattern off and it should look something like this. Do the same with the other pattern. This is it all finished. Take the pattern off and turn the vase around. I did the same designs on the other side. Once that's done, I used both patterns to fill in spots I wanted filled. As you can see, I finished one side. Now I'll show you the other one. Take the butterfly, place it upside down as seen here, and fill it in. Continue until the whole side is done. Again, this was me playing around with the patterns and liquid pearls. You can create whatever pattern you'd like. Now to fill in the last spots. I added flowers just to show you how the vase would look with them. Using a foam ball, I don't know the measurements as I've had these laying around in my craft supply bin. I cut plastic flowers and pushed them through the ball until half of it was full. Using flowers is not my thing, but I wanted to give you an idea of how pretty these vases could be if you use the right color combos and flower arrangements. I bet you guys could come up with some amazing designs. Well, this is the finished look. I'm not a huge fan because it's out of my usual style, but I was experimenting and came up with this. Let me know what you think. I hope it was inspiring and gives you ideas for your crafts. I do love the dyeing of the glass very much and will be using that in more of my projects. I'm still working on all the requested bottles, so give me some time. They take a long time to get supplies, make, film, edit, and post, But rest assured that I am working on all of them, and I'm very excited as I think I have come up with some pretty cool ideas for each of them. As always, thanks again for all of your lovely support. It is always very much appreciated. If you are new to my channel and like what you see, I hope you consider subscribing to get updates on future videos. And remember, do it yourself. There's no need to cry.